Am I mistaken in thinking that the entire green energy is just totally propped up by cronyism?
It would not have survived as long as it has if it was not for cronyism. I mean, there's technologies out there. Solar is the specific case here. Elon Tusk, who, you know, he's a benefited. I'm sorry. he's benefited greatly from subsidies, and in this case, in particular, he's looking to benefit from the solar energy and people trying to get off the grid. But the only way people are going to get off the grid is if they can afford solar panels. And the only way they can afford solar panels is if the government subsidizes them.
How expensive are they?
How expensive? Well, you could pay $100,000 if there's no subsidies to put it on your house. So after,
like just on the roof of an average house, it's like $100,000.
It can be $100,000.
Just kind of like a mortgage. Yeah. It's added on. Plus, you get a tax credit.
If you get the tax credit, it can get down to about $50,000, $40,000. The idea is that over a 10-year span or a 15-year span, you'll end up saving money. And look, I don't disagree that solar technology can be good. And I don't disagree that the technology is really interesting. But as has been the case throughout the history of innovation, we need to allow the markets to work in order to, you know, make the price what it needs to be as opposed to faking it.
I think that's my problem. It's not about hating solar. It's the simple fact that why can't we have all energy? Why can't we give people options? Why does the government have to get involved and say you get a tax credit because you decided to do solar? I'm not comfortable with them controlling what type of energy I decide to go with. Plus, solar panels, they break easily. I mean, and the bill is just going, the insurance policies to get solar is ridiculous. So I'm just not a big supporter of it.
And doesn't China control, I mean, correct me on this, but from what I understand, China controls, I mean, they have the monopoly on the rare earth metals that are used to make solar panels, and we don't even have a functioning mine to where we can even get any of that, the rare earth minerals that are used to make those panels.
The problem is that even if we do have minerals here that could possibly be used for that sort of thing, the mineral industry in America is so overregulated that it would take 10 years to pull it out of the ground.
Oh, wow.
And
that's just to get it out of the ground.
Yes, and to get a license, et cetera, forget it. It's almost impossible because the Environmental Protection Agency and all of the various environmental lobbyist groups, they work hard to make sure that that sort of thing is difficult, while at the same time demanding that we make the solar panels, et cetera, that come from those very minerals.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea, like you both, of, you know, if it seems like it's going to be good financially in the long run, and if it's self-sustaining, I have no problem with it. But the thing is that it should not need billions and billions and billions of dollars in subsidies from all of us in order to make it work. I mean, did Edison get a subsidy for the telephone? I mean, did Steve Jobs get a subsidy for Apple computers?
Well, Edison sort of did by stealing everything he ever did. But
that's true.
You know,
Edison's an SOB. Just so you know that Thomas Edison is an SOB.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
See, a lot of this, especially here in Texas, what they did was the EPA came in and said, look, you guys are using too much energy, and so you guys have to go to solar. Like, it's almost basically a lot of areas in Texas, they're saying, look, you guys are using so much energy that you're going to shut it down or you're going to get solar. Yeah. Like, this has become a regulation.
It might be me because I leave a couple of my lights on all the time.
You know,
we all do.
The thing is, if you look at the
I pay for it.
If you look at Obama when he came into office,
I want to come back to that. Don't forget that point. Sorry, go ahead.
If you look at Obama and when he was running for office, you know, this isn't a conspiracy theory. It's very clearly laid out. First, he gave press conferences where he said,
he's like, I'm going to end
well,
coal.
I need to destroy the coal industry, and that's the only way to get people interested in green technology is to make them dependent on it.
Right.
And the only way I can make it dependent on it is if I destroy the things they're already dependent on. So he basically like laid that out, then went for cap and trade, which was very clearly a punitive system designed to make people not want to use it. Then he used the EPA to start shutting down the coal industry, just like he said he would. And now he's down in Florida. I mean, we've talked about this before. The last 2 years of his presidency, he's going to try to cram everything in before he's gone. He's going to push for climate change regulations. He's going to push for closing Gitmo. He's going to push for amnesty. All of those things are going to happen in these last 2 years. Climate change is going to be a big one because there's going to be a lot of companies, a lot of really rich people that are going to benefit by pushing for this in these last 2 years. Because, look, once it happens, it's going to be hard to unravel. And when these guys get $500 million deals like Solyndra did, they're going to benefit of that before the next president comes into office.